We don't think it's a sin, or it's not a big sin. It really doesn't affect my relationship with God. Anger, irritability, and impatience. Have you been angry, irritable this week? Things didn't go your way? Impatient? Those are sins. Those are the things that hinder our relationship with God. Envy, jealousy. Do you want something that somebody else has got? Or you think their life is better than yours and you wish for something that you don't have? Are you jealous of somebody else? Unforgiveness is a really big one. I can't forgive this person in spite of everything they've done to me, and in spite of all the things that God forgave me for, I refuse to forgive. Lack of self-control. This goes in a lot of ways in our lives. It can go to eating, drinking, and spending. Do you have lack of self-control? It's a sin. It affects your relationship with God. And last, two more. Frustration, anxiety, and worry. Have you worried this week? Worry means that you're not trusting God. It hinders your relationship with God. And then I had to put this in there because I think this is important, because it has a lot to do with we always have the porn problems. We always have the lust problem. But bottom line is, it comes down to unfaithfulness. Unfaithfulness to the one that we're married to. Unfaithfulness to God. Solemn and somber things, but we need to deal with them. They're important. They're important to God. What Achan thought was just a small thing was a big thing. So today, I want us to go there. Proverbs 28:13 says, "He who conceals his sin does not prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them finds mercy." So what are you hiding in your tent? Take a look at your life. What are those small things that you have justified, saying they're not that bad? Second question, now that you've uncovered it, how do you destroy it? They took all of the stuff that Achan had taken, they brought all of him and his possessions, and they destroyed all of it. How do you destroy these things and other things in your life? Okay? Tough questions, but freeing. There's a chance for another step of freedom, another chance to walk away and say, God, reveal this stuff in me. And you can't do it unless He reveals it. I've always known that I was selfish, but God has started showing me where I am selfish, in the middle of the selfishness. So, maybe each table should start off before we do the questions. And just with the table leader, why don't you just pray for the table and just open it up for those discussions. Okay? 1, 2, 3, go. 12 after. So let me close this. Y'all go back and finish your conversations, but I always like to try to end this on time, so those of you guys who do need to go and go to work and all that can get out of here. If you don't see any of this stuff in you, if you don't see it, you really need to find kids. All right, let's see. Where's it? We'll put that under kids. Frustration, anxiety, anger, irritability. I'm hitting it all right there with those children. No, seriously. Ask somebody you're close to. Maybe it's a wife, maybe it's a girlfriend, maybe it's
Both.
At least it wasn't Joe this time. Okay, all right, let's refocus. Okay, so ask somebody, what do you see in me? I tell you, last night, actually, I asked Tracy. I asked Tracy, I said, what do you see in me? And we sat down at the counter, and as I was starting to write things out, I said, so what do you see my issues? And she started telling me. And I tell you, last night, we moved to a different place last night where I told her some things that I haven't ever told her, and we've been married 15 years. And I see this happening in my life, and I see the openness, because we decided last night, she's good with God, I'm good with God, but together, we're not what God wants us to be. And God's churning that up inside of us, so it requires me to go back and start saying some things. And I said some hard things to her, and she said some hard things to me, and we agreed we need to be as open. I need to be as open and honest with her as I am with you. Just bottom line. And we had 3 hours of deep conversations last night that we haven't had in a long time. And our marriage is good, but it's not everything God wants it to be. So take a risk. Find out. Pull the stuff out of your tent. Because if we go according to what God taught us in the Achan story, it was uncover it, bring it out into the open, and then as they brought it all together, they destroyed it. If you're struggling with porn, cut the cable. All right? If you got it on your phone, then go buy a $9.95 phone so that you don't have the capability on there. You need to take some action on this. You gotta step back and say more than, all right, I've opened it up, I've confessed about it, but I'm not going to do anything about it. You got to take a step. And I guarantee you, there is somebody sitting beside you that will take that step with you. All you got to do is reach out and say, I can't do this on my own. I need somebody to hold me accountable. Because sin, it's always in the moment. I have to tell you the rest of it. The most important thing, the thing that just blew me away about this whole story was in the next chapter. And God sent them back up to Ai, and this is what he said. You shall do all to Ai and its king as you did to Jericho, and its king, except that you may carry off all the plunder and the livestock for yourself. Can you imagine? Achan sacrificed everything for such a little, when if he had waited a couple days, he could have had it all. That's what God wants for you. It's what God wants from me. You're sacrificing the little stuff because he wants to give it all. And what would that look like in our lives if we quit hanging on to that little stuff? So, let me pray.